seize the power, seize the authority from the Article 1 branch.
Well, and what it speaks to is just how not Donald Trump's dumbing down of the political process, but how all those around him are dumbing it down as well, moving away from those values and those principles that you ran on, that I ran on when I ran for the U.S. Senate.
Let me ask you this, because when we ran on it, when I'd say something like that, everybody in the town hall meetings go, yeah.
Right.
When I talk about balancing the budget, yeah. We're going to fight an imperial president. Yeah. We're not going to build walls of protectionism. America is strong and we can defeat anybody economically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, where have I know what Lindsey Graham's doing. Where have those people gone that we spoke to, those conservatives that we spoke to for decades? Where have they gone?
I think a number of them, a lot of them have become disillusioned over the years. They've become disillusioned by a lot of the things that they thought the Republican Party stood for and found out it didn't. So they retreated.
Hold on a second.
They retreated.
I became disillusioned. I wrote 3 books. You know what my 3 books say? The same exact thing.
He wrote
that the
3
Republican
exact same
Party,
books.
That the Republican, I reread them just to see if I was still a conservative, and I was like, how did I get away with writing the same 3 books? But hold on a second. My complaint, though, was not that they needed to find this mushy middle. It was that they were too liberal when it came to spending. They were too liberal when it came to not making tough economic choices. They were too liberal when it came to debts. They were too so if you become disillusioned because your party is too liberal, you actually go to a lifelong Democrat who wants to seize power from
Congress? But you go to someone who you think is actually going to fight for the very things that you believe that you align on. So Trump made the Faustian bargain that if you stick with me, I'm going to go up that hill. The other guys didn't do it. Bush didn't do it. Reagan didn't even do it. I mean, he went after those leading figures in the establishment in a way that animated those voters who stepped back. Remember, after the 2004 election, what happened?
But, Michael,
a lot of Republicans retreated.
It was all showbiz. Yeah. It had nothing to do with conservative policy, Gene.
No,
it had nothing to do with balanced budgets. In fact, Donald Trump promised he wasn't going to balance the budget, and he wasn't going to take on entitlement reform.
I know. He said
he
no
sounded like Nancy Pelosi. You know why? Because he spent his life contributing to Nancy Pelosi and Rahm Emanuel and the Democratic National Committee. So again, why are you, if you're those people listening to Lindsey Graham, why are you now supporting a guy who is more liberal than any Republican?
Well, because you've made you said Faustian bargain. You made the bargain. You're anti-abortion, and you want somebody who's at least nominally anti-abortion. You are pro religious freedom and to you that you're probably anti-gay marriage and
you're pro-religious freedom. Is that why you support a guy that supports Muslim registries? Do you not understand that a liberal may come in and maybe it'll be a Pentecostal registry next decade?
You don't think that far ahead. I think what you say. You say he's for religious freedom. I'm for religious freedom, and you're anti-Democrat. I mean, and you've convinced yourself that nothing could be worse than having a Democrat in the White House. Even abandoning every single one of your principles.
There's a through line here from him not being a conservative and not being a Republican. So when he decided to run for president, someone told him building a wall would win you currency and capital.
Who's that
in the
someone?
Conservative movement? The people in his ear were helping him. Roger Stone, who wanted to help him remember that as a device. So build the wall. Gets into the White House, and he kind of abandons that idea. He controlled Washington and Congress, the House, the Senate, and the White House, kind of forgot about the wall. The minute it started to slip away, and the Washington Post on December 19th had a piece on the front page that said, Trump backs away from wall promise, he heard from Ann Coulter and Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity. And now because of that, when he had to remember what it meant to be a conservative, Now we're here with a president on the precipice of seizing power, taking over appropriations that belongs to the Congress, and changing the presidency, frankly, in a way that we may be feeling for years and years.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham wants to rewrite the Constitution to give Kamala Harris the ability, as President of the United States, to seize Americans' guns, to seize guns in South Carolina, to start background checks, to do all the things that Lindsey Graham supposedly is against.
Well, we're going to revisit this. Great conversation. We have a lot of other big stories to get to, spreading them out and digging deep, including some